account. Thank you for having me. My name is Alex Freeman. I'm a senior account executive here at Yooz, and I focus on helping finance teams, particularly those on Sage, understand what modern AP automation can do for them. And the challenges I hear are remarkably consistent. Too much manual work, too little visibility, and a growing concern around fraud. And that's what today is about. So, to give you a brief overview, Yooz was born in the cloud back in 2010, and we've grown to be a truly global company. Today, we operate in more than 40 countries, supporting over 7,000 clients and over 200,000 legal entities between them, with more than 600,000 daily users. Now, we've processed hundreds of millions of documents, but I think what really sets us apart is our commitment to innovation. And so every year we invest 25% of our income into R&D, and our team of 15 PhDs have authored over 100 published scientific articles surrounding AI and machine learning. And I think that investment has given us one of the most advanced AI-driven platforms in finance automation that's built around a very simple mission: accelerate growth, fight waste, and defeat fraud. And we call this approach lean financial operations, and it's built on five principles: attacking waste, delivering end-to-end process transparency, providing a return on financial operations, achieving process perfection, meaning the ability to adapt as needed, and to give CFOs total visibility. Now, when you think about what finance leadership wants, growth, efficiency, and fraud prevention, this framework delivers exactly that. Now, for Sage users, Yooz delivers across three dimensions. First is fit. We have unlimited users, multi-entity support, an intuitive UI, and a seamless native sync with Sage. Second, it's fast. Our proprietary AI extracts invoice data automatically, line-level PO matching runs without human intervention, and smart workflows get approvals to the right people without sitting in an inbox. And third, it's fraud-proof. Yooz Protect actively detects and prevents fraud, backed by full audit trails, confidentiality levels, and 360-degree monitoring. We like to say AI plus automation plus visibility. That's lean financial operations. Now, AP waste hides in the everyday: manual data entry, email-based workflows, approval delays, duplicate entry across systems, lost invoices, paper checks, manual vendor reconciliation, and the cost of fraud. And these aren't just edge cases, they're what's slowing your team down right now. And when processes are manual and visibility is low, fraud has room to slip through, and Yooz closes every one of those gaps. Now, this slide gives you the 30,000-foot view from purchase all the way through to export. Every step is automated and fully scalable. So it starts with purchase, whether that's purchase requisitions, their subsequent POs and goods receipts. Yooz can create and approve them using workflows, or we can import directly from your Sage instance to help facilitate that automated 2- and 3-way match. Then there's capture. So we can consume invoices really from any channel, whether that's email, mobile, scan, drag and drop, e-invoicing for any EMEA operations, SFTP, API, EDIs, et cetera. And we can even pull invoices from vendor portals automatically. And really, no matter the format, our AI is able to extract the data accurately and quickly. Then next comes the review, or the traditional AP specialist role. And here we're automating GL coding with dynamic allocations, performing 2- and 3-way PO matching, and reconciling vendor statements. And then from there, invoices are moving into approval, and we support smart workflows, whether that's based on department, cost, vendors, custom fields, from Sage, a combination thereof, to line level approvals, parallel routing, or even escalation logic. Approvals are going to stop getting stuck in your inboxes. For payments, we handle that through Yooz Pay, our integrated payment automation solution. So we can do virtual card, ACH, and of course, paper checks. It's all automated, all tracked in real time with fraud risks actively contained. And finally, there's export, where we push the data back into Sage, create the bill automatically, and attach the invoice along with its full audit and comment history. And if you're not leveraging Yooz Pay, then it's teed up for payment and you can take it from there. Now, wrapped around the whole process is the Yooz portal. And this is where vendors can join, submit invoices digitally, and track their status. And then at the very bottom, you can see the additional value we layer on: budget tracking, archiving, search, monitoring, optimization, audit, reconciliation, and security. So when we say maximum automation, this is what it looks like: a straight through scalable process with no wasted effort and full visibility along the way. Now let's look at how Yooz and Sage Intacct work together. So it starts with a deep bidirectional sync. Yooz pulls in your chart of accounts, vendors, customers, departments, dimensions, employees, POs, projects, tax profiles, custom fields, allocations, and much more. Really everything your team needs to code accurately from day one. From there, the flow is seamless. So an invoice comes through any one of the channels. Our AI captures and indexes it, then it moves through review, approval, and even payment workflows. Once approved, a bill is automatically created in Sage Intacct. Payment is then approved and released directly and used through YooZPay. And the moment that payment is confirmed, it's automatically flipped to paid within Intacct. So there's no duplicate entry, no manual reconciliation. It's one connected automated process from invoice receipt to a paid record. So let's hop into the application and take a look there. So I'm logged in currently as Andy Accountant, who is one of our AP users. Now, regardless of your role, whether you're an AP specialist or an approver, 99% of your time is going to be in this My Task workspace or dashboard. And we can see it's filled with a series of components. And the size, order, and visibility of these components is configurable at an end user level to make moving through Yooz most efficient for the person. So we have late, complete, and blocked, and my to-do and in progress components are expanded. Now, when expanded, I'm afforded additional functionality, so I can select the columns and data that are presented to me, so I can get quick insight into what I need to be working on. We can see that in my to-do component, I have 7 total documents to process, all contained within my legal entity Yooz US, USA demo, and distributed across 3 different document types. Now, my in progress section is going to be everything that I've touched, submitted, and it's waiting on the next step for whichever workflow that it took. So I'll always have line of sight into that. I can see that many of my invoices are sitting in approval with Amelia, and then a couple of them are sitting in approved payment with Paige. So if I want to start processing something, I'll start with this PO-backed invoice. All I need to do is select the document type and then select the invoice itself, and I'll be brought into the invoice workspace where we have 3 different components as well. We'll have the header form fields on the left-hand side, which are configurable if you have any nuance to your required fields. We have the invoice image on the right, and as I hover over items on the invoice, you can see the data sets that we created. And we can leverage these data sets in a few different ways. Primarily, we're using them to populate information in your required header fields, information in the coding when it's relevant, and primarily that's for non-PO-backed invoices. We can use them in workflow logic, as well as in searches and reports. Now, this particular invoice, we've matched 2 purchase orders to it. So we have the functionality to match multiple POs to one invoice or multiple invoices to one PO, which is pretty standard for a partial reception type of scenario. Now, as I hover over the PO lines here, you can see that we've aligned it with that of the invoice line. And as I scroll through, it'll bring my attention to that particular line on the invoice. And the same works going the other direction. Now, we can see that we have some exceptions here. And so I don't need to hunt through and sort of cross-compare to figure out what's going wrong. I can just select this down arrow, and it's going to surface my first exception. And what we're doing is comparing the PO quantity and the PO unit price with the invoice quantity and the invoice unit price. So here we can see that we received 20, but we only have 16 there. And our mascot is a flamingo. So it's requesting or it's suggesting to you that you can replace this value with 16. And one cool thing that I should note that's with Sage specifically is that we can pull in the requisitioner and route this automatically to them should there be any sort of exceptions. And we can set up no-touch workflows if no exceptions are encountered, because typically the approval process is front-loaded during the requisition phase. So I can resolve that by clicking the flamingo, and then I just select this down arrow again. It's going to bring me to my next exception. In this case, the unit price is different. It's 20 on the PO, but 24 on the invoice. Now, in relation to this, we can also set up variances or rules that, if it falls within 5% of the PO cost, then it's fine. It just goes through. And at that point, we won't need to flag it as an exception for you. Now, one thing I want to talk about is fraud prevention. Most AP firms on the market today are lacking quite a bit in respect to fraud, and it typically stops at duplicate detection. Now, duplicate detection is our first layer. So if we do detect a duplicate, we'll link you to the document already residing within Yooz. And in this case, we can see that they just reused a previous invoice number. If this was the only thing that was wrong with this invoice, then I could shoot the vendor an email, attach that invoice, let them know that they need to resubmit with a unique one, and then just delete it out of my queue and wait for that new invoice to come in. Now, the next layer in our fraud prevention is doing an atypical amount analysis between this vendor's invoice and to this legal entity and all of the invoices we've ever received from them. If we receive something that's out of the norm, we're going to flag it, and you're not able to process it until you physically click ignore the rule. Now, the next layer that we are doing is an analysis between the vendor profile within Sage and the contents of the invoice itself. So we have noticed that there are no banking information or credentials within the vendor profile, but we do have bank accounts on the invoice itself, which is pretty atypical. Now, our last layer has to do with PDF specifically, and we're doing a steganography analysis. So if you're not aware, when a PDF is created, it's done so in layers. And if I edit the PDF after the fact, I'm going to compress the layers in the areas in which I edited. And this works even if you save that PDF as a wholly new document. And so RAI is able to, point out where that compression exists, but then also be able to define what type of data was modified. And when all of this works together, Yooz Protect provides a much better barrier to fraud than what's been available on the market today. And I see the time, so I'll move quickly. The last thing I want to touch on is for vendor statement reconciliation. You can throw your vendor statement in Yooz. We'll go line by line. I accidentally hit the refresh button on my keyboard instead of what I wanted to, so I apologize. Let me hop back in. We'll go line by line, tell you the, compare with the invoice already residing within Yooz, let you know if the total amounts align or not, whether or not that matches, if it's still in progress, what step is it in, and whether or not that's been paid. So I can pull all my mismatches to the top and resolve it very quickly. Now I have two more things. I want to log in as Amelia just to show you that her workspace looks exactly the same. No matter your role, you're going to move and function within Yooz in the same way, which makes change management incredibly easy and a much higher probability for success, as well as providing a greater resource pool internally for any questions or anything like that. And lastly, just very quickly, I want to show you what it looks like when we push the data back into Intact and create the bill for you. So you'll see that we push the invoice image into Intact. We'll append it with any comment history, the audit history, and then any attachments that you added into the Yooz application throughout the life of its processing. Additionally, this will be accessible to download from your Intact instance, and then we'll provide a link back to Yooz. Beyond that, all of the dimensions and everything will mirror as you have it in your Intact instance. For any Intact CRE users, we can accommodate all of the construction specific nuances like retainage, etc. But it looks like I'm right on time, so I appreciate it. If you have any questions, please let Amy know so those can get to us, and we'll be happy to have a deeper conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex.